Hello, my name is Avery Smith, and this message here on this YouTube goes out to Miss Isis Wisdom, W slash hocus, and xxxtentacion. I was put onto your video 2 nights before last, and once I started watching what you guys were talking about, I was like, oh, wait a minute. This got something to do with some of the stuff I've been going through. Because for a long time, I really didn't know how to go about talking to certain people about some of the things I've been going through. My birthday is September 26, 1975. I'm a Libra. I'm 45. I got unlimited, I'm talking, when I say unlimited amounts of energy, I'm talking unlimited amounts of energy. Like, I got so much damn energy, I could literally go 2 days without sleeping, and it's like nothing to me. But the downside to that is I end up sleeping for 3 days. Now, when I really get into what I call my Bob the Builder slash Dexter's Lab universe, it means I like to build. I've always been like this ever since I was a child. I've been building. And the way I started building was I used to take my toys. I never really played with my toys individually. Sometimes I would, but most times I would go in my room. Whenever I didn't have to go outside, I would go in my room and I would take my toys. And now, I'm literally 5 years old doing this. I would take my toys and design my own little personal spaceship out of my toy box and all the toys I ever had for Christmas. And I would have this one corner that I would put my spaceship in. And my mom was one of those, was a very forward-thinking woman to be in the 70s. I was, as I said, 1975, so yeah, I was born in the 70s, but I came up in the 80s. But during the time when my mom was alive, she always used to encourage me to use my imagination. And it's funny how she would do it, because there was one night where I saw my mom walk into the doorway of my bedroom, and she would literally stand there with her arms folded and just watch me pretend I would be somewhere out in deep space. I never really knew as a child where I was going in this outer space, but I just knew I had to pretend I was going into outer space. And what really got me started in that was I used to watch Star Trek. I mean, I watched the whole entire Will Shrapnel series where he started as Captain Kirk. There was Leonard Nimoy, which I'm gonna get into a further backdrop on Leonard Nimoy after I describe Captain Kirk. Now, Captain Kirk was this sort of spacefaring captain I always wanted to be, but my thing is I'm afraid of heights. So this part is crazy. I'm afraid of heights, but I want to get into a rocket ship and go into outer space. How do you figure that one out? I mean, I was such a Star Trek fan. I watched the first Star Trek, and I'm talking the very first season when it started. I would go from the first season all the way up to Deep Space Nine. Didn't really like Voyager too much, but I did Deep Space Nine, a little bit of Voyager with Captain Janeway, with Captain Picard and William Riker, his first officer in Star Trek The Next Generation, all the way up to the moment when they started going back and making movies out of all of them, all the way up to Star Trek Nemesis. Yeah, I watched them all, man. I got so far into it, I literally collected a Star Trek Universe notebook with almost the whole entire series collected into it. I mean, it got too expensive, so it was no way I could keep up with the payments. But what I did get was the fun fascination of being able to collect information about what the sci-fi universe really thinks about outer space. It was really out there. I've always been into astronomy. And this part is for Mrs. Isis Wisdom. Now, the thing that caught me about Mrs. Wisdom was when she started talking about skin shimmering in the sunlight. Now, for me, skin shimmering meant for me was my skin used to get so hot in the sun. I mean, I would literally be out there for hours in the sun. The sun literally just did not bother me like that. It didn't bother me because I knew that the sun was the main energy source. And by the sun being the main energy source, I also knew that anybody who was of a melanated color, I looked at us as being biological batteries. Yes, biological batteries. And how I came across this theory was I used to break my toys open when I was 3 years old. Now get this. I used to break my toys open. Yeah, I'm 3 years old doing this. And being at 3 years old, who in their right mind would have a child, a boy nonetheless, being 3 years old with a flathead screwdriver and already knowing what to do with it? I mean, ain't too many children that's going to come up in the 70s already knowing what to do with a flathead screwdriver. I mean, I got in so much trouble doing that. I mean, the first toy I ever broke into with a flathead was a Snoopy musical light-up toy. And yes, I'm 3 years old, weak as shit. I'm breaking into toys, snatching out the magnets. Now, how I know I was looking for a magnet, that's an adventure all by itself, breaking into toys. And I don't like doing recordings. But anyway, how I even got into breaking into my toys, looking for magnets, I was a year and a half, just under a year and a half. And my mom tried to put me in my crib so I could try to put me in my crib for a nap. So she went into the kitchen Little did she know, she tried to rush into the kitchen, fix me a bottle, and run it right back to the room. Now, Miss Isis, I don't know if this is going to be too weird for you, but Bantu Cut and xxxtentacion, I don't know if you guys know anything about this, what I'm about to tell you. At a year and a half, I was able to stand up in my crib. Now, okay, stood up in my crib. Now, get this part. I didn't have nothing in my crib to stand on top of. I had a pillow, but what good is a pillow going to do? But anyway, I had no toys, nothing of a sturdy substance for me to stand on. Okay? The guardrail was securely pulled up and fastened. And getting out this crib wasn't shit to me. But I will tell you this, by the time my mom got back into the room with the bottle, I had managed to scale a crib railing and get on top of the railing itself, straddle it like a horse. And I had nothing to climb on. I had nothing to climb on top of to even get on top of that railing. And I laid there. I didn't fall off. I didn't fall back into the crib. Amazingly enough, I laid there on top of that railing as if I was just going to go to sleep right there. And literally, I almost went to sleep straddling that railing. I mean, I literally had no fear of laying on top of that railing the way I did. Just laying there. Man, my mom came in there with the bottle. She was like, so, Avery Rodell Smith. I remember how she even said my name to this day. Avery Rodell Smith. How in the... What? She came over to the... And it's like... But... Oh, damn. You don't have nothing in... Oh, damn it. I can't get a moment's rest from you, can I? Damn. So she picks me up off top of a railing, puts me in the living room with her, and I'm quiet as a dormouse after that. I'm literally that quiet. So ever since then, my mom did not ever try to use that crib on did not ever try to use me. Try to use that crib to put me in for a nap after that. She didn't use it. As a matter of fact, she wanted to keep it, but her thing was like, man, if you old little fast behind not going to use it, why am I even going to keep it? So, yeah, she got rid of it. Like, a month and a half later, she got rid of it. Because I would not stay in that crib. To this day, I don't know why I wouldn't stay in the crib. I know I just didn't like it. So from the time of me being a year and a half up until the time I was 3, she finally decided it was time for me to have my own room with my own bed. And I'm 3 years old sleeping in my own bed. Terrible. Yeah, I was about the fattest little boy around. But when I got to walking, ain't none of that baby fat stuck on me. None of it. I mean, my mom had a hell of a time trying to keep up behind me. I was into every damn thing. So, around I would say what? The summer of 70, somewhere between the summer of 76 and 77, my mom finally decided it was time for her to take me to an all-boys camp called the Boys Club over somewhere in Stamford, Connecticut, where I'm born and raised. I didn't want to be in no boys club. I hated being there. So every time she would drop me off at the boys club, I would find something stupid, get my ass in trouble with, get kicked out, and I'd get sent back home with a suspension note from the boys club. It was like, damn, this is going to be just like you were when I tried to put you in that damn crib. Damn. She told me, like, boy, you get yourself kicked out this boys club again and I have to pay a fine, I'm going to beat your ass. I mean, I didn't want to be there. So she took me back, dropped me off again. 2, maybe 3 days later, I ended up getting kicked out again. First, it was like a penalty strike. Like back then, if you got like more than 3 penalty strikes for the little children, it was like 4. If you got more than 3 penalty strikes, you got suspended from the boys club. So I ended up getting suspended with a 10-cent fine in order to get back in. My mom was like, damn, if I have to beat your ass to make sure you learn, you got to stay in a camp where you can bond, then I guess I'm just gonna have to beat your ass for it. And yeah, and she literally tore my ass up. Literally. Man, I tell you, I mean, I was all over the damn place. Now, the one part that really got it was right when I turned 5 years old, I had my first outer body experience at 5. Yeah, my spirit sat up in the bed. I'm looking down at my body like this. I'm literally feeling myself breathe. As a astral projection, as it's now called, and as a corpse being in the bed. So I'm literally feeling myself breathe in 2 different dimensions. So I go floating around the apartment. Then I float back into my room. I'm looking at this window, and there's this entity staring at me through the wall, and I'm like, wow. So I'm being encouraged to float through the window. And then just before I was getting ready to float through the window, the entity was like, that's too easy. And the entity's mouth never moved. I heard the whole entire conversation in my head. The entity said, you know what I want you to do? I want you to, let's not try the window. What I want you to do is, I want you to go through a solid brick wall or whatever this hard substance y'all got going for these things y'all live inside of. And that's what the entity called it. He called it a thing. So I proceed to back all the way out the window because I hadn't even gotten all the way through. So I look at the wall, and I'm like, are you sure? They're like, go ahead. I'll be on the other side if you get stuck. So I'm looking at this wall, and next thing I know, boop, I floated right through the window. I floated right through the wall. And without warning, the entity was like, uh-huh. Mind you, the entity's mouth never moved. The eyes did, the mouth never did. Entity was like, mm-hmm. I see. He was like, come walk with me. But mind you, we're floating over a half block full of trees. He's like, come walk with me. So we go float about like 2-3 miles out. And he's like, you know what? We haven't noticed a human like you before. This is very, very compelling how you're able to do what I've noticed you doing. And the way I noticed you was your energy. And it's very rare for a child to be less than a year and a half to have a energy rating like yours. Very rare. Very, very rare. So as the entity kept examining me, and the face was white, rosy red cheeks, and everything from the neck down was just completely white. I'm talking like not even there. It had curly hair. I don't know what the curly hair was about, but it had curly hair. Blue eyes. So the entity kept, conversating with me. It was like, yeah, you're going to need further studying. I don't know who's going to be doing the studying. I wish I could do it, but I'm a first level detector spirit. I only come in. I'm only needed when, and this is what he said, I'm only needed when there is a huge spike in the planet's biological, he said, biological energy matrix. Whenever there is a huge spike in the planet's biological energy matrix, I'm called out to investigate to find out where it's coming from and how it's even happening when it shouldn't be happening. So when I came across you, I was like, a child is doing this? I got to confer with my higher ups about this, because this is wow. So he was like, before he let me go back to float back over to my apartment, and yes, I do have a slight twitch because I'm all over the place. So he goes, wait right here. So the entity snaps out. I don't know who he went to go talk to or how long it even took, but when he snapped back in, he was like, yep, it's what my higher ups have figured all along. They figured it all along. They just had to be sure. So what we're doing, what we're going to be doing with you is we're going to put a special marker over you. Now, at that time, I didn't know what this marker was all about. And he told me, in time, you will come to understand what this marker is all about and what it's supposed to do. But for now, you're not even supposed to know. I'm telling you, I'm putting this marker on you. So, he lifted a certain part of his gown or whatever it was, tapped me on the back of my head, and I instantly even forgot I had a marker over me. But so I got sent back, and as I was being sent back, he was like, "Oh yeah, we'll be in touch. You don't have to come look for us. We'll always know where you're going to be at." So I float back in. 2 nights later, I start having all these weird dreams. And I would say somewhere in the middle of the fall, between just after my birthday, I turned 6, heading closer towards so-called Thanksgiving, my mom was like, and this was shortly after she discovered I was writing with not just my left hand, I was also writing with my right hand as well. So yeah, I'm an ambidextrous. And when my mom discovered this, she was like, "Oh, okay." So this is when all this massive learning and graining stuff into my head started happening. I didn't want to do any of it, but she was like, "Well, you either gonna learn or I'm gonna beat your ass till you do start learning." Oh boy, I hated that. But now I see why she did it. Today, being 45, I understand now why she was putting me through all this. Because back when I was 5, from 76 on up, there aren't too many children from the 70s coming up through the 80s would literally watch the TV shows I ended up watching. I mean, I just didn't do cartoons all the time. No, I didn't. I used to watch news telecastings like E.T., the acronym for Entertainment Tonight. I used to watch Entertainment Tonight. I used to watch Tom Brokaw. And I'm 5 years old doing all this. Tom Brokaw. Every Saturday morning, that was his own version of weekly Saturday edition news. 11 o'clock to 11:30 every Saturday. I did not miss not one episode of that man. And I also used to watch another bald-headed guy named Smith Barney, another white guy. And this guy used to talk about the only way to get respect is you got to earn it. You got to earn respect. Not just from people around you, but from yourself to yourself most of all. I mean, I'm watching Smith Barney, Tom Brokaw, Entertainment Tonight. Then, right off the back, I start watching a scientific TV show called what's it called? In Search of. Remember the guy I mentioned, Captain Spock? His real name was Leonard Nimoy. Leonard Nimoy narrated In Search of. And how I was able to make the connection, his voice. His voice was not that much different from Star Trek to In Search of. So, only because I recognized him as Spock, Captain Spock in Star Trek, I got very familiar with him in Search of. So automatically, I gravitated to watching In Search of. But you know how moms are. Got to make sure there's nothing alternatively suggestive in all the shows I got a kick out of watching at the age of 5. But when my mom was satisfied, visually satisfied that there was nothing in these shows, she let me have at it. I mean, I used to watch the Muppet shows. I used to watch horror flicks. This is one thing my mom never really found out I really did. I used to watch horror flicks. Everything from the original series of Friday the 13th to Jason to Michael Myers to Freddy Krueger. I'm watching all this at 5 years old, and I mean, this shit really didn't bother me like that. I never really caught nightmares. All except for the time when I had a black entity, a small, hairy black entity with white teeth and glowing white eyes with no pupils in the middle, jump off the top of my dresser and try to attack me. And for some odd reason, I literally had a scary type monster tune playing inside my head on the opposite side of my eardrums. I'm like, no. So I immediately took my blanket and threw it over my head. I waited, and then when I finally threw the blanket down, it was nowhere to be seen. I mean, there were so many weird things. I mean, I used to jump out of swings. I used to try to mix household chemicals and some hair supplies trying to make stuff. I mean, I was literally getting into all this making stuff with household supplies, and my mom was like, no. You can't be wasting mommy's hair supplies. You can't, I mean, this shit was funny. She almost beat my ass for this, but she didn't. But no. So what she did was she went and got me a mechanical building set. I mean, I think it was called Connect Tech, where you could build cranes, cars, ships, rocket ships, motorboats. I mean, I sat there, I looked at it, and I'm like, because I actually thought the plastic clips was something to chew on. My mom was like, no. This is not what you do with that. So she sat down, read the instructions, and started putting stuff together. And 2 days, she really saw I wasn't really fascinated with the Connect Tech stuff. So what she did, she was like, oh, okay. So I would say a few days later, and this is still during the holiday season, like right after the Christmas holiday. So she's like, okay, I see what I need to do. So she took me to the babysitter's because I guess she didn't want me to see what she was doing. So she came back like a half hour later with a big ass bucket of Legos. Colorful. I was like, man, when she took the top off and dumped them on my Raggedy Ann and Ann table, man, my imagination just started doing this. Ooh. I mean, I'm building machines called Evil Knievel. I'm building fireplaces, like a fireplace stack out of it. I'm building this, I'm building that, and making this do that, and making this do this. And my mom was like, damn, had I known all I really had to do was buy you a box of Legos, I would have did that first. You are a very funny son of mine. You're very funny. But she went on. I mean, I used to dance. I did a whole lot. But the one thing my mom always smiled about was me. My deadbeat father wasn't nowhere around. I mean, he was off married to somebody else. So she never really depended on him too much because of the problem. Only thing she really cared about was making sure I was happy. I was fine. There were times where if there wasn't enough food, and I literally saw my mom do this, my mom would not eat until after I ate. Until I ate and had enough. Then she would eat. And she sometimes would eat at the same time when I ate, but most times she would not touch her plate until after I ate. My mom had some thick, I'm talking real thick hair. She was like a yellow bone. Like freezing cold temperatures really never bothered her. I never seen her walking to the bus stop wearing gloves. All she had was a hat, a sweater. Now, when it came time for her to do her hair, she never really used all that lye stuff to put a perm in her hair. She never used that shit. All she really needed when she wanted to do her hair was a jar of grease. Thing of grease came in a clear jar, tear-shaped jar with a white cap on it, and a hot comb. And she sat in front of the stove, and she literally did her hair just like that. But I kid y'all not, when she got done with her hair looked just like she just had a perm. She just put a perm in her hair. Just put a perm in. And all it really was a jar full of grease and a pressing comb. Not a whole lot of shampoo, although she did make sure my hair was clean, her hair was clean, but for the most part, she never really used shampoo like that. Never really did. Then another thing about it, my mom had this fascination for creating stuff. If nothing else, clothing. All my mom really needed to know was how to operate a sewing machine. She took some classes on it. Because she had a damn good memory when it came to what type of outfit she wanted. And because she knew it was cheaper to buy the supplies to make the outfit than to buy the outfit itself, all she had to do was walk down the street. And I remember she used to do this all the time. Had me in a stroller. Walk down the street. She would look at a particular outfit. She wouldn't even have to look at the outfit for more than 2 minutes. If she was walking by, she would take a quick glance at it. Be like 30, 40 minutes later, I'm thinking, we're at a fabric and supply store called Woolworth in Stanford. She goes buy all the supplies to make the outfit. And the exact outfit she seen in the window was the exact outfit she made. All she needed was the pattern. She really didn't use instructions, nothing. No instructions, just the pattern. But just before the next day would even roll in, she had a whole outfit. All she really worried about for us was shoes. She didn't worry about the outfit. Because she made my clothes too. She never really had to measure me. That was one thing I always, to this day, found weird. She never really had to measure me. It was crazy. She would use some of the same patterns to make her clothes. She'd make my clothes out of the same cutting paper she used to make her clothes with. And my clothes would fit, like, bam, would just fit. And my so-called pop, there was a story where he used to be a head mechanic at a bus barn in Stanford. This man was so witted with hand tools. He had this thing where even before the bus pulled into the garage, he could tell you what the problem was before the bus pulled into the garage by how it sounded. And everybody in the garage was like, a raggedy bus just sounds like a raggedy bus. I don't hear no difference. He was going, no, wait a minute, you hear that? I was like, hear what? I hear a bus about to break down. He goes, okay, yeah, yeah, right. So when the bus pulls into the yard, pulls into the garage, and all they used to hear from what I was told, and it was like the bus would, he never really turned them off. Never did. He would walk over to his toolbox, and I bullshit y'all not. This man picked up a Phillips head screwdriver. Just a Phillips head. And they looked at him like, man, is you stupid? Aren't you going to pull your whole entire box over there? He was like, what the fuck for? Bruh, let me do this. Picked up a Phillips head, walked over to the bus. 5 minutes later, There wasn't no more noise. There was no noise 5 minutes later. Put the hood down. The guys looking at him, all the guys he worked with, including the secretaries, everyone of them like, how in the hell did he do that with just a Phillips head? And they all really wanted to know how he did it. He stood there and just smiled at him and kept it moving. So it was like after that, they made him the head mechanic of that bus barn. Literally. Head mechanic. And he had just stepped in, taking some, covering some for somebody else who left. He stepped in as an assistant. After he did what he did to that bus, bam, right in that same month or that same week, they made him the head mechanic. I mean, where else would you even be able to do anything like that? He did it. So it's like, with him and my mom, here I come. I mean, I mess with computers in very much the same way he dealt with buses. I mean, it's like being an ambidextrous is wild, bro. I mean, I don't really know if I could put a word or a certain description to what it's like being ambidextrous. But I can tell you, people look at me and be like, how'd you do that? How did you just do that? I go, I don't know. Because my cousin, when we stayed on Taylor Road here over in Riverdale, Georgia, he seen me do something one day. I'm sitting there just doing what I'm doing, fucking around, blah, 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 blah. He comes through the apartment door and goes, bro, what is you doing? I'm like, So he walks into the room, and he comes back out the room, and he's like, and I'm right back watching TV. He's like, bruh, hold on, bruh. Didn't I just come and see you doing something? I'm like, yeah. He's like, yo, bruh, there is no way you could have finished doing what you were doing before I came out the room. What was you doing? He's like, bruh, you tripping. I had my cousin trip and laugh. Laugh himself all the way out the apartment that day. He's like, nigga, you tripping, bruh. My cousin was like, bruh, nigga, I got to keep my eye on you, bruh. You be doing some weird shit. Got to keep my eye on you. You been done took damn TV apart if I don't watch you. That's some funny shit. But I kid you not, I was 12 years old, being 12 years old doing this. I wanted to watch TV. The TV was broke. This was 86, right? 86. At that time, I wanted to watch Nickelodeon. I was a huge Nickelodeon fan. And it was literally nothing that was going to stop me from watching Nickelodeon. So I went into my room, turned the TV on. I was like, hold on. I know TV ain't broke. I mean, the screen was just full of static. I was like, you know what? Because my cousin had walked in and said, man, I got to call mommy and get the serviceman over here. There's something wrong with the TV. I'm thinking to myself, like, service, man, my small little ass. I pulled the TV out from the front of the window, got back behind the stand, pulled all the wires down, including my video game system. I pulled everything down. So I'm sitting there for like what? At max, the whole repair thing took what? 4 hours, 3.5, 4 hours. I mean, I was going through everything, trial and error, this and that, different theories, different experiments, seeing what worked, what didn't work, what wire needed to be here, what wire didn't need to be there. Long story short, by the time I got done, I had discovered there was a bad wire. And back then, I don't really know how wires can burn out, because since the wire was threaded with copper, I don't see how copper could ever burn out. It's a real good conductor of heat, so I don't see how it could just burn out like that. But this one did. I'm figuring how they must have manufactured it or something. So when I got the TV going, I pushed it back up against the window, up in front of the window, got back up on my bed, started watching Nickelodeon like ain't shit really happened. My cousin came in the room and was like, wasn't the TV just, I could have sworn the TV was broke. I was like, I don't know. Well, I guess I just have to go tell Mommy to cancel that repair guy. I'll just have to find a way to give her $45 for that. Yeah, to this day, his mom, who's my aunt, and him never knew I fixed that television. I did that. And I learned, and that was like the first time I really learned some of the stuff I can do. Don't ever talk about it. I'm 12 years old learning this. Don't ever talk about the stuff I know. Don't want to freak too many people out. Which in that same year, I taught myself how to meditate. Also, a few years before that, I even remember the year when the internet first came out. I was 1989, 1982, somewhere in that timeline. I remember when the internet came out. Came out with the very first Macintosh computer that used the tape recorder to load programs into a Macintosh Apple. The school I went to got chosen to be the flagship for it. And there were only like 6 classrooms that were selected. And being that I was in a special ed class, our class was automatically selected for it. I still remember how they worked too. Now, taking a quick jump back to Stanford, I was selected to be in the mainstream program where children who show some sort of a curious trait, they would go around picking certain children to do what was called mainstreaming. It was a new program they had started in Stanford where if I was in one special ed class already doing, say, like science, if I'm already doing science, exactly at 9:30, I was told to stop that particular class assignment and report to a different room on the other side of the building. Go for English. Yeah. And little did I know, such a program like that would follow me from Stanford to Norwalk, my second hometown. Now, in Norwalk, sometimes I would have gym twice a day. Other times I would have lunch twice a day. That's weird. Some weird stuff. But going through all that, as I got up to middle school, being in a program like that, got to middle school, that told the officials, I guess whoever evaluated my records or whatever, from middle school getting in, it automatically told them, yes, he's another one. We can, so-called allow him to switch from one class to another when the bell rings. We can, so-called let him do that. I mean, I had computers, I had home ec, I had gym, had art, learning center. Yeah, I mean, I was all over the school doing different stuff. By the time I got to high school, still in Norwalk, I guess they really wanted to see. So they had me doing science out in like a portable building while the English teacher was doing English, I was doing science in the same room. Now, there hadn't been nobody who ever did what I did. Like, there was this earth science collection. It was like a collection this damn long, full of 20 earth science books. And before I came along, there weren't too many people who could even get past the first 2 books, let alone the first 3. I was the only one that sat there past 12 books, 12 of the earth science books, and there's 20 of them in a set. I passed 12 of them. I think like not even before my first 12 weeks of being a new freshman in high school, I passed 12 books within 12 weeks. 12, 14 weeks, one of them. So in that same year, well, right in the marking periods or whatever, I go from the portable building, special ed building, to an actual biology class within the building. Yeah, imagine that. So as I, progressed, got older, speeding forward, when I graduate, like a year before I was going to graduate, my English teacher, Mr. Krause, told me, being a junior, I could have graduated early. I was one credit shy of in English to where I could have graduated at 17. I could have actually done that. But, since I needed one more credit of English, I had to do my senior year, which I really almost did not need to be in the 12th grade. I almost did not need the 12th grade year. If I had been able to get that one more credit of English in my junior year, or somewhere between my sophomore and junior year, I would have graduated at 17. Now, what the hell my mom's sister would have done with me, I don't know. I don't know what she would have done with me had she found out. But then again, seeing the report card, she automatically knew. She was like, oh. So, you almost graduated a junior, huh? I was like, yeah. She was like, stay right here for a minute. So she, walks to the hallway. She calls her two oldest children into the room. And she goes, do you know why I called you two in here? They look at each other and look at her like, no. Do you even know what's on this boy's report card? They look at it like, Ma, please don't tell me this boy's unfailed. Please don't. Please don't tell me. That's going to make her look bad. Like, y'all just calm down. It ain't nothing like that. Then what? Here, I'll let y'all look at it. So she handed them my report card. They looked at it like, it was like, what? Yo! Ma! You lying. Like, why would I lie? The proof is right there in your hands. Why would I lie? You mean to tell me this little knucklehead right here could almost graduate a junior? Yeah? What? Ma. It's like, what? I mean, my two older cousins were so speechless. They were, I'm talking tight-lipped. They just could not really get over the fact that even though I have a slow-ass brain, somehow, being in class, I managed to get to a point in 3 years, which took them 4 years to do. I damn near did it in 3. Yeah, I'm terrible at math. I mean, I don't do numbers. Physical science kicked my ass. Economics kicked my ass. And math kicked my ass. So with 3 subjects that were literally kicking my ass. How in the hell was it even possible for me to even graduate early like that? I'm still trying to work that out to this day. I'm still trying to work that out. I don't get how I even did it. To this shit's baffling me still. But yeah, anyway, I ended up still doing the 12th grade. But get this, when I was 15, no one really told me I had to get up and get a job. I chose get myself up, go get my own job. And the only way I was able to do that was through a summer camp program called Neon in South Norwalk. And how I learned to, do that was when I was 12. I got left in the house by myself while they went grocery shopping. I had just got through watching TV for like 2, maybe 3 hours. I was bored as hell. Man, I was bored. I was like, man, I got up. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn this TV off. I'm going to clean this house. Now, what 12-year-old boy or 12-year-old girl you guys know go get up and clean a 2-story duplex by him or herself without being told? I don't know of any children who would do what I did, cleaning a 2-story duplex by myself in less than 45 minutes to an hour. But I soon, caught the gravity of it, where if you do something, you get something for having did something. I was like, hey, I like this. So I got up and started cleaning. Anytime I clean, I got this brand new, I got that brand new. But what I really wanted were video games. So I used to be a cleaning motherfucker. Cleaning the whole entire house by myself. Just so I could get a video game. Funny. Very funny. But that's how I used to rock. I used to rock like that. Which drove me at the age of 15 to get a job. Mind you, I still have a mental disability. And, not too many people in my family were all that happy when I chose to get up and get a job at 15. Which brings me to another subject of dealing with the government and their Social Security program. Yeah. At 15, I chose to put myself in the program as a work program. At 16, my mom's other sister started hating on me because I wanted to take control of my own destiny and control my own life and do the things I want to do. Which, that's how I, ended up learning that don't nobody on this planet really give a fuck about me like that for real. But the precarious thing about being 12, was the very first time I actually experienced death. It was me and a bunch of other boys in the neighborhood living on a dead end street wanting to act like Evil Knievel, the stunt man. So we all, got like a sturdy ass board and put like 4 to 5 bricks under it, and we started jumping off of it. Now, mind you, we are on a dead end street. If you could not stop your bike, a regular dirt bike, you are going to go down another hill into a ravine. You was over after that. But yeah, we literally used to do that type of shit. So when it came my turn, I did the whole testing the rant type thing, trying to act like Evil Knievel and all this other stuff, and I was like, come on, man, hurry up. We want to jump too. Hurry up, man. I'm like, all right, calm down, bro. Let me just get another brick real fast. So I threw another brick up under the board. I'm going down at full speed. Full speed. I wanted to slow down. I started to slow down. But something told me, bruh, you just fucked up. So here I'm going. Shoo! By the time my back tire left that edge of that ramp, the bike started shaking. As I went further up, the bike started shaking a little bit wilder, a little bit more crazier. And all of a sudden, I don't know how I ended up doing all this, but the bike landed on its tires, rolled off the circle of grass and fell on its side. I ended up laying flat on my back with a broken bottle sticking up out of the ground, like the jagged edges of a bottle sticking out the ground, just like this. That damn glass almost went through the back of my neck. Amazingly, I was about 2.5 inches away from that bottle doing so. 2.5 inches. But while I was, knocked out, I seen a white skull face with a black hoodie and had 2 spiked flames, like how you would do a lighter. He had 2 spiked flames for eyes. He was floating over me. He couldn't touch me. No matter how hard he tried, he could not touch me. Pissed him off. And as far as I know, back then, not too many children or adults back in the 80s would have gone through what I went through and literally live to talk about it today. Which, at the age of, I'll say between 12 and 14, right after I taught myself how to meditate, I was, left in the house again by myself. I took 2 wire hangers and took some felt out of a carpet, made a star, turned off all the electronics that was around me, or at least the electronics I could turn off, sat down, shut the door, turned the lights off, concentrated on that star. 5 minutes later, I seen one head with brown hair and brown eyes going clockwise, and 4 heads with blonde hair, blue eyes going counterclockwise. And all in unison, they asked me, what have I summoned them for? What's the reason for me calling them? Or him, rather. I was like, yo, what the hell did I just do? Without even thinking about it, I fucked up the whole process. I didn't venture back down that road since. I didn't go back down that road. I told my second oldest cousin, he was like, yeah, bruh, what you need to do, if you gonna start meditating, you gonna need to really read some books on how to do it, or on how to do meditating properly, because what you just told me, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know too much about what you just did, but if I were you, I wouldn't do that again. Not till you read up on it. I wouldn't do it again. I hadn't read up on it yet, but I also didn't do it again either. Now, to this day, it's come to me that I discovered the gatekeeper. Now, Miss Wisdom, I don't know if you have information on who or what this gatekeeper is, or why I've seen 5 heads doing suburban clock motions in different directions, but xxxtentacion and I do cut. If you guys have any information on what I experienced that day, any information at all, I would gladly appreciate any information y'all can possibly give me. I mean, because it gets stranger than that. Very, very much stranger. Because ever since I did that, I began noticing at a young age that I can start hearing the thoughts of animals. Domesticated, wild, doesn't matter. I can hear the thoughts of animals now. I can even talk to them. Literally. I mean, it's to a point where a dog can, this is like the most vicious dog can bark at me. Ah! 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 Can literally bark at me like it's gonna tear me apart. And I've met 3 pit bulls like that so far. And anyway, I go, yeah, you just want someone to talk to you. That's all you want. You're not trying to bite me. You just want somebody to talk to. And the more violent the dog got with the barking, the more I talked to him. I'm like, look, bruh, you just want somebody to talk to you. That's all you want. You ain't trying to jump no fence. You not trying to dig no holes. You not trying to make no threats. You just want someone to talk to you. That's all you want. isn't that the truth? 5 minutes later, this one particular pig looked at me like, oh shit, let me stop all this damn barking and going about my business. This human is giving me a little bit too much attention over here. I don't feel right. So this brown and white pig got real quiet and wanted a lot of his business. Well, I was like, okay, I guess he didn't want to talk. He didn't want to talk. He sure enough didn't keep barking. I mean, I've actually put a mean-ass dog named Boomer to sleep one time. I actually was friends with a Doberman named Pretty Boy that I had problems with a little girl who kept bullying me. I was like, you know what? You know what I'm going to do? I went and got my next door neighbor's Doberman. Put this nigga on the leash. Acted like I was taking him for a walk. And then when this girl came back down the street, I had told Pretty Boy to sit down. He sat. He looked at me like, so why do you have me out here again? I was like, you see that girl right there? He looked at me, looked at her, looked at me. Yeah, okay. I want you to sick her. It's all, come on, bruh. Nah, you can't do this. The Doberman looked back at me like, damn, you are serious. So, how do you want me to do it? You want me to just bark at her? Okay, I'll tell you what, I'll growl at her. Will that work? So, she tried to come over and start some more shit with me. And right time I said sicker, boy, this Doberman got mad as hell at her. Got real mad. Now, being a short, scrawny little motherfucker like this, there wasn't no way I was going to stop that Doberman from chasing her if he really wanted to. So, the quickest thing I did, I jerked that chain and took him back to his house. I mean, this girl was freaking the fuck out. I mean, she was crying all over the place. And it was a good thing there was nobody else outside to have seen what really happened. This girl went crying over to the same duplex we stayed in, but she stayed on the opposite side. She went in, started telling people I was scaring her with a mean old dog, and her people came out, looked at me, and were like, were you just scaring our niece? I'm like, no. And the girl looking at me like, he's lying, he did. And her aunt and uncle looked at me like, so where's this dog you own? I'm like, what dog? I don't see no dog. So the man goes, okay, we gonna get to the bottom of this. Something ain't right. So he goes knocking on my aunt's door. Says, may I speak to Mrs. Smith? She comes to the door and goes, your nephew scared my niece with a raging dog. They're like, Avery, were you out here? I'm like, no. Like, Ben, are you lying? No. I don't know what they're talking about. Honest, I don't. And she goes, my sister's son has no reason to lie. I mean, if it was something that needed to be told, he'd come right on out and tell me. No, he has no reason to lie. That was the first thing I ever got away with. I was like, bruh, that shit was close. I mean, I literally have been trapped in. I've literally been trapped in a whole lot of dirt and grime by a lot of vicious dogs. Now, let me tell you, I've had some of every type of dog throw my ass in the dirt, use me for a chew toy to dragging me across the floor one time. I mean, it wasn't until I really discovered why rough breeds of dogs like Dobermans, Pit Bulls, Rottweilers really take to me. I figured it out. Got something to do with my sign. I figured part of it out. Got something to do with my sign. And I just recently found out my spirit kin animal is a gray wolf. So it's like anytime I go around any type of breed of dog, and the latest one I just got through being around was a blue-nosed pit, 2-year-old pit named Virgo. Now, this dog doesn't like a whole lot of people. Doesn't want a whole lot of people coming in the yard. Try to bite shit out of him. I stepped into this man's yard to introduce myself as another resident in this particular neighborhood. Next thing I know, this 2-year-old blue-nosed pit snatches my ass off the driveway, throws me in this man's grass. I'm like, come on, bruh. I know I just didn't get thrown in the grass. So I get up, walk back over to continue talking to the owner across the street. I mean, tell me why I heard this blue-nosed pit like 4 or 5 houses down going, oh, hell no. I know this nigga didn't think he was just going to get up out the grass and I not know about it. This little blue-nosed pit was fast as fuck. He comes zipping down behind all the houses, grabs me by my right arm. Like, nigga, get your ass back in this grass. Spun me around 3 times, threw me back in the grass. Went back down the neighborhood to mess with a Rottweiler. I mean, it's weird, bro. I mean, I've gotten to be around some cows. I've got to be around some oxen. I've gotten to pet a full-grown lion, tiger, and who else? I think that's it. But anyway, out of all the animals I've ever gotten to pet as a child, they all stared at me in my eyes, looked me directly in my eyes. And I mean, that was like the weirdest feeling I ever had. I mean, it was like at that time being young, it was like these animals literally wanted to tell me something. But being this high, it wasn't too much I was going to be able to understand. But right in that instant, that's what told me I have an interesting fate waiting for me, still waiting for me to deal, or not just deal, but be around more wild animals. I mean, I've had a cow try to eat my locks. I've had a mother cow head butt me in my forehead. And I've had a goat try to nibble on my left hand, whereas I had a half pit, half Doberman puppy named Mikey chew on my right hand as a chew toy. It's weird. It's just very, very weird to know I can sit and argue, literally argue with a dog to where they stop barking at me. Literally. Well, yeah, I would love to talk more, and I think I'm gonna have to end it right now because it's about that time for me to stuff my face. I literally don't want to eat what's here, but don't have a choice. My projects are still on the stove being put together, so I'm working on some things. But yeah, if any one of y'all can get back to me ASAP, I will greatly appreciate it. And xxxtentacion, I'm going to need to rap with you on some deeper stuff. I too caught, same with you. I'm going to need to rap with you on some even deeper, higher level stuff that I've been experiencing. Is like, and I was advised not to just talk to anyone about what's really turning in my head right now. So whenever y'all, I'm hoping you guys will get this recording and respond back, because sometimes, I'm going to be honest with you, it gets pretty fucking lonely not being able to converse with people that feel what I feel. And my last inclusion is, I don't know too many people who can actually feel seven different levels of energy. Feel energy on several. Be able to feel energy on 7 different levels. And I don't know the full extent to how far that really goes, but yeah, right now I know I'm at being able to feel energy, all different types of energy on 7 different levels, and so I just don't know what to make about all of it. I really don't. So again, if I can rap with some of y'all and Miss Ice's wisdom as well, and hocus, I will greatly appreciate the opportunity and the chance to see if I can rap with y'all a little further to find out where is exactly that this path is taking me, because I didn't choose this path. This path chose me, and yeah, I had times of 3 other times where I almost died. So, in closing, death doesn't mean nothing to me. It really doesn't. And yeah, and I got some wartime knowledge on how to use the pressure points in the human body to do a whole lot of shit that only ninjas was supposed to be able to do. I don't study no type of karate, no type of martial arts, nothing. But if it really came down to it, I could use my knowledge of science and the human anatomy to stop a lot of people in their tracks. Leave them sleeping on their feet, if you will. Or even stop their heart with something called the lotus punch. Yeah, it's just a lot. It's a lot up here. I still have yet to decode, and it's like, so sometimes I don't even want to deal with all of it, but I mean, what can you do? So, if any one of y'all can reach back out, I will greatly appreciate it. And hopefully I'll get to rap with y'all on a Zoom conference. I can download Zoom anytime I need to have it on my laptop. So please, I'm literally putting out a request to find out just exactly what really is the purpose for what I'm building. Yeah, as I said before, I'm a builder. I've been one since I was 5. A natural born builder, you know, and extrovert and ambidextrous. So, if someone of the names I just called upon, if you guys can help me out, I would greatly appreciate it. Tentacion, if you can put me in contact with King Tut or Moses, or I would greatly appreciate it, because yeah, I got the planet Venus following me, always to my left. Now, I can actually go out there and look, and Venus will, whoop, yeah, I'm still here. I'm like, seriously? Yeah, and I also have something called remote viewing. Now, y'all might find this interesting. Like with the Golden Gate Bridge, Miss Isis, how about when I got on this chat line called the Atlanta Raven, how about what you're talking about? I literally gave insight on what's going on right now. And I'm talking about this back before 2006. And what I mean by talk about, I told a friend of mine on that chat line that I don't know how big this situation is that's coming for us, but I know it's very extensive and it's going to do a lot of damage, but it's coming. That's all I would say. It's coming. There's a whole, it's hard to keep track of everything I've ever talked about on that chat line because I pre-predicted we called a certain situation that a whole lot of people on this chat line do not know about. And the way I called it was the same way it happened. And for doing that, I get called retarded. I get called stupid. I get called dumb. I'm looked at as a crazy, retarded nigger who needs to take his medicine. I mean, it gets so deep, Tentacion. It gets so deep. I have this other thing about me where if a person, mainly a female, I don't know of myself ever doing this for a guy, but for a female, if she's really genuine about what she's trying to find, and my aura is going to know. It's going to know it automatically if she's genuine or not. Once my body finds out and it knows, I start rifling off information like it ain't nothing. And I really ain't got to see this person. I don't have to know nothing about this person. I don't have to know where this person stays. I don't have to know this person's name. I ain't got to do none of that. I don't even use cards. The most I will ask is for a birth sign and the day that person was born. That's it. And I'm throwing out information left and right, left and right, left and right, left and right, left and right. And it's like, I'm in the back of my mind like, why the fuck can I not stop my mouth from shooting off like this? And I discovered it doesn't really stop until all the information has been cycled and processed out of here. Because I noticed that sometimes I'm used as a messenger. Now, who or what manipulates me to be in messenger form, I still have yet to find that out. But I do know it hasn't happened in like 2 years now, 2-3 years. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm really hoping you guys can get back to me. It would really help me out a great deal. Alright, I'm out.